Hey everyone, welcome as we continue our series in the book of Ruth. So we've looked at chapter 1 when Naomi lost her husband and 2 sons and decided to go back to Israel. And she went back with her daughter-in-law Ruth, and when she goes back with Ruth, Ruth meets Boaz. Ruth and Boaz have romantic feelings for each other, but Boaz wants to make sure that things are done properly because there is a relative who has a greater entitlement to Ruth's hand in marriage than he does. So he decides to go before the elders and find out. So that's what brings us to chapter 4, which is the last chapter in the book of Ruth. Now, in chapter 4, Boaz goes to the elders and the relative who has a greater claim to Ruth's hand in marriage. Because in those days, people didn't always marry for love. Sometimes it was as a result of family lineage and who had the entitlement to marry the person. So Boaz comes before the elders and he lets it be known that this relative has an entitlement to marry Ruth, but also he would need to buy the land as well that was owned by her late husband. And this relative says, no, I don't want to. And so then Boaz says, okay, because I am next in line, then I would like to. And so as a result, Boaz and Ruth get married and Ruth has a child. Now, Ruth gave birth to Jesse. Now, for you Bible scholars out there, Jesse is the father of King David. And we know that through the line of David comes the Messiah. And I think that's really encouraging that God can really bring beauty out of ashes. Because how does the book of Ruth start? There was a famine in Israel. Naomi and her family feel they have to leave Israel for better pasture. When they leave, what does she find? Death of her husband, death of both her children. She's widowed. And then all she has left in the world is her daughter-in-law. But through all those circumstances, God is still working out his purposes. And through the meeting of and joining of Ruth and Boaz, we have Jesse who has David. And through that lineage, we have Jesus the Messiah. So that's my encouragement to you, that regardless of how difficult life may seem, trust that God is working all things out. Not just for your good, but for the good of all his people. And if you're part of God's people, you can trust that his purposes will prevail and that you can trust that God can really bring beauty out of ashes. So that is our journey through the book of Ruth. I hope you're encouraged by it. And next week, we will start a different book of the Bible. Peace, God bless, I'm out.